What's going on, Wall Street Academy? Okay, so this video I'm going to be going over some frequently asked questions. This is an updated video from the last one. The last one I did like in 2015, so I really want to update it just so you guys actually understand everything. Because I watched it the other day and I wasn't really feeling all too much, so I definitely had to redo it, go over a few things since this is like really years later. So we're gonna go over other ways to install indicators on different platforms on Mac versus Windows because I mainly do the Mac version or the Mac process, but at the same time, like it could be still applied the same exact way to Windows also. What is a pip? You know, on currencies and cryptocurrencies, placing stop losses and take profits on MT4. What is leverage? The overall breakdown of that. What lot size should I use? How spread affects a position. What is economic news? Server names on MT4. Variable spread accounts versus ECN versus Islamic accounts. Trade plans, like what I think about them, and what do I do when I'm not trading. All right. So let's jump straight into it, guys. All right. So all the ways on how to install indicators on different platforms on Mac and Windows. So like, where is it? So you guys know that I pretty much show you guys on how to actually install them mainly on Mac, and it was through XM, which is just a broker that offers a version of MT4 that's modified for Mac. All right, so it's like a direct download and whatnot. But recently, it actually been kind of iffy, mainly because like their root folders are kind of switched up compared to it before. It's not really the same setup through the root folders like how it was before, as far as gaining access to your indicators, getting access to your template folders, all that shit. So certain folders are missing. So let me show you guys an example on how this looks. Applications. Go down to XM, right click, show package content, drive C, program files, XM MT4, and then you have your MQL4 folder, which has your indicators, which is good. All right. Then you have your template folders, which is your other folders that you have to actually put things into. So depending on your platform, you might have these folders still, or you might not, because this is all different on my MacBook. I don't have certain folders like how I do on my iMac. And then you have M Trading, which is, I think it's on here. I probably don't have it on here. But M Trading is the other platform which is similar to XM, and you go through this like through the same process. You go on your show package content folder, drive C, program files, the same exact process to actually install these indicators and templates. So whenever you download the templates, you don't ever open the file. Like these files are how it looks when it's actually downloaded. It looks just like this. You don't ever open these right here. See, like it goes into like Photoshop and whatnot. You don't ever open them because they're not made for just opening. They're made for just plugins for MT4. So when you actually download them, you just drag it to these folders, and then you restart MT4, and then it updates all the files that it just actually got installed with. Then you have your MQL4 folder that has your indicators folder that also, once again, you don't ever open these. You just drag them to this folder and that's it. Or if you don't actually have the folders that way, then you could also go on file on your MT4, go on open data folder, and you can also find these folders here as well, indicators and so on. All right. So the easy way on how to actually make all this possible is that you can make a folder on your desktop with all the files in it, and then when you get on here, you just go on wherever your main folder is for all of those files, which is mainly on your desktop. So the folder should be somewhere like right here once you actually make it and put all those files inside of it from your desktop, and then you could click on it here, and then you just right click, copy, and then you paste it in the folder that all of these files are actually in. Right click. So yeah, so whenever you get back to these folders, you just right click and then paste the files that you copied on this area back inside these folders right here. So that's another way on how to go about it if it doesn't actually work the main way that I showed you guys. So remember that there's always ways around all these right here, but depending on your platform, it might be a little bit different, which is fine because it still works out the same exact way, honestly. All right, so yeah, so like it's literally the same exact concept. Like these platforms are for Windows or Mac. It doesn't really matter personally, but it's made for Windows, but we can still use it on Mac the same exact way. All right, so then what is a pip? So a pip versus micro pip. An example of this right here is on USDJPY. The price for this example is 109.503, and the market went to 109.513, which is just 10 points, which is 10 points from these last two numbers right here. So the market, it went up 10 points, but that those 10 points is equal to just one pip, because every 10 points is equal to one full pip. Then you have, on cryptocurrencies, it's a little bit different because your decimal places are a lot further. So same concept, you could say this right here is a micro pip and this right here is a full pip, which is a 7 is the full pips. The market went from, let's say, 0.98372 to 0.99372, which equals, it went up 1,000 points, which is 100 pips. So that's why you could definitely make a lot more money trading. Well, it's a good amount of opportunities, seeing that like you're gaining a lot more pips a lot faster on trading cryptocurrencies margin compared to currencies, because the decimal place is a little bit different. So you're making money off of every single point that this micro pip moves on cryptos, compared to right here, you're making every single point that it goes in your favor, you're making profit, which is the same place, which is like all like right here. So instead of waiting for this number to change, you're kind of ahead because you're making profit from a further decimal place, which is a lot quicker. So which is pretty dope too. Then you have placing stop losses and take profits. So then you have you have MT4 once again. All right. So let's say, for example, I wanted to place a trade. Right click, I go on my one-click trading, for example. Let's say 0.01, just to whatever. This is a demo account anyways. It's like, let's say I just place a buy. All right, boom. Place a buy. All right, my order's in. As you can see, the order just got placed. If I click this right here and drag it up, I could set a TP. The TP pretty much tells me how much I'll make off of that area being TP'd. And I can also set my stop loss if I drag it under. All right. So if I have a buy opportunity in, then if I drag it under, then I could pretty much set my stop loss. And if I drag it above, then I could set my TP. Same concept for a sell opportunity. If you drag it up, you're setting your stop loss. If you drag it down, you're setting your take profit, since it goes inside that direction. If you want to set a stop profit, once the market is in your favor to some extent, then you could pretty much use your stop loss by dragging it below first, and then dragging it above that area once it pretty much goes beyond the stop loss area. So like, let's say if this candle was all the way up here, you could just place your stop loss first and then remodify it to bring it above the order, so you never ever go back negative. So like, you're literally just like gonna be stopped out, but just in profit instead of stopping out negative. Okay, so that is placing a stop loss and take profit. So what is leverage? Leverage is this right here. The higher your leverage, it does affect your margin level percentage, which is a good thing and a bad thing in a sense also. Well, probably a good thing, honestly. But you could also, like, if you ever blow your account, or as far as like margin call your account, the less you're gonna have in your account, the higher your leverage is. So for example, you have a standard lot, which is 1.00, which is the standard lot. So the formula for leverage is 100,000 units divided by your leverage equals the amount to run a standard lot. So for example, if you have a 1 to 1,000, a 1 to 100 leverage, you'll need every $1,000 in your account, you could do a standard lot with 1 to 100 leverage. If you're doing a 1 to 200 leverage, every $500 in your account, you could do a standard lot, which means that if you have a $1,000 account, max you could do with that account is what? 2 lots, because 500 times 2 maxes out to $1,000 with a 1 to 200 leverage. Then you have 1 to 500 leverage, which means every $200 inside your account. Same concept. If you have $1,000 account, you can max it out to 5 lots. I would not recommend that, but it is possible and it would actually get executed. Then you have 1 to 1,000 leverage. Every $100 in your account, you can do a standard lot, which means that max you can do with $1,000 account is 10 lots, which it's going to execute, but I wouldn't recommend that because you're instantly in margin. And then the higher your leverage, the less you will need in your account to pretty much do a standard lot. For example, certain brokers have a 1 to 3,000 leverage, which means every $33 in your account you can do a standard lot, which means that if you have a $100 account, you can do a max of 3 lots, which is crazy as shit, but it is possible. And then it will get executed if you have a 1 to 3,000 leverage. But on average, I'm around like right here on like a 1 to 500 leverage through like 1 to 300, on 1 to 200 leverage, depending on your balance, because the higher your balance, the lower your leverage gets automatically. Like on Trader's Way, if you have a $1,000 account and a $999 account, once it hits $1,000, your leverage drops automatically to 1 to 500. From 1 to 1,000 leverage up until you get over $1,000 balance. All right. Then you have, what lot sizes should I use? Personally, it's all based off of your level of skill and your level of precision to base your lot size. If you already know, like, my risk management levels are a standard lot per $1,000 in your account, which means that you got to have a good amount of precision to actually do this. But at the same time, like, I train you guys a certain kind of way to actually make this possible. But if you're a little iffy, then just drop your lot size. You know what I'm saying? If you have a $1,000 account, you could start off with like 0.10, 0.20, 0.30, 0.50 if you want to. Just kind of get comfortable first, and then start upping your lot size as you go and as you get more precise. How does spread affect a position? This right here is an example spread. The example is on USJPY. The price is at 108.300. The spread is 7. The lot size is 2, which means that it's basically the amount you start off in negative when you actually start your order. So if you have a 7 spread on this example with the lot size of 2 lots, it's 7 times 2 equals $14 negative before you go in profit. So if the spread actually like opened up to, like, let's say 20, it will be 20 times 2, and then that'll be your negative also. So it will be negative $40 for placing a 2 lot with a 20 spread. So that goes with anything, just plug and play, and you'll get the amount that you saw off negative. Then you have, okay, good, that's all good. What is economic news? Economic news is literally like this right here. All this right here is economic news, which means that these are news events that happen throughout the entire world every single day. And this affects the market because these are pairs or currency pairs that it's gonna be affecting, either if it's JPY, USD, CAD, GBP, any pair is affected by economic news. It could be a simple speech of somebody in politics or a missile getting launched. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's still gonna affect your trades in some kind of way because the markets in these kind of charts are going to get a lot more volatile, big spikes and whatnot. And I mean, it's something that you got to kind of prepare for, but once your technicals is on point, then you don't really have to worry about, these all too much. Server names on MT4. Server names are literally like when you actually make an account, you have to go on file, open an account, and then you have to scroll down to where it says add new broker. And then you go type in different server names. For example, Trader's Way is TW Corp. And then you scroll up, and then you'll see TW up right here. So depending on your broker and everything, it's gonna have a different server name. Every single broker has a different server name, so you have to always type that in to find the broker on this area to actually be able to log into your account. Variable spreads. So a variable spread versus ECN versus Islamic. Pretty much variable spread is like when a market the spread actually fluctuates heavy. For example, on USJPY variable spread accounts, it goes from like 12 spread through like around 16 spread compared to, and you also have fixed spreads, which is just one spread that doesn't ever move. So it's the spread can be like at some weird number like 11 or 10 and not ever move, which is, you know, whatever. I don't really like it all too much personally. And then you have your ECN accounts, which is pretty much a super lower spread that you're paying commission for, which means that you're actually paying for a lower spread compared to variable spread accounts and fixed accounts. Accounts, you're not paying commission to actually place orders. ECN accounts, you're paying a fee for a lower spread each and every order that you do actually open up. Then you have your Islamic account, which means that you're not actually paying no fees, and it's a decent spread, you know, like around similar to an ECN, just with no fees. Like you're not paying any kind of commission, swap fees, or nothing like that, which is pretty dope as well. And then you have your trade plan. Your trade plan, I mean, I don't really want to get too specific with trade plans personally, because like if you make it too technical, then you're not going to really catch anything. So I'll say like you could base your trade plan off of just a certain amount of pips or a certain amount of money and just call it a day. But I wouldn't base it off of, you know, like you seeing a certain kind of candlestick pattern or some kind of like that, because you have to be open to like how things are going to be forming inside the market to take advantage of it. So yeah, so like just don't make your trade plan like too, you know what I'm saying, like too in detail to the point that if that doesn't ever form, then you're never going to get inside the market. You know what I'm saying? I'll just say just base it off of just pips or money wise, or trading certain pairs or certain days, that kind of thing. What do I do when I'm trading? When I'm not trading? When I'm not trading, I'm probably, you know, out somewhere doing the road, or you know, riding my bicycle, or at the gym, or playing basketball, or playing video games, or, you know what I'm saying, just something that doesn't really involve the charts. And that kind of makes my mind a bit clear. So when I get back on the charts, you know, I'm not too clustered, and I could actually go back on with a clear mind, and, you know, not have any kind of previous bias and everything in my head to actually, you know, base my current charts off of. So, you know, it kind of just lets me get like a little reset real quick. You know what I'm saying? Like not like a major reset, but overall like a little reset, so I could actually come back on the charts with a clear mind compared to how I was on it before. So I would say that just like everybody can find a hobby and not really stick on the charts all too much, because if you're sticking on the charts 24/7, then you're not going to really you know, get that breather that you need to pretty much like benefit from trading with a clear mind compared to a mind that's like cluttered from seeing one bias the entire time. All right. So I mean, that's pretty much some frequently asked questions that I've been asked a good amount of times throughout the group. So hopefully this helped out a lot, and this video right here can actually be beneficial to new students as well. So all right, guys, peace out, and I'll see you guys on that next video. Peace.